Greetings, dear readers. Let us embark once more on the journey into Eldric's world in the second chapter of his tale. In this uncharted land, where not a single blade of grass dares to grow, Eldric, a man who has endured centuries in search of an end to his endless suffering, stands alone. His only companion, Mino the loyal donkey, serves not only as his sole friend, but also as the key to his desperate plan. By feeding Mino strong spirits and anticipating the fateful kicks, Eldric hopes to find liberation in death. Yet, in the shadows of the forsaken village, will Eldric's scheme yield the conclusion he seeks, or will this cursed immortality only prolong his unending agony? But every bold idea he conceived met with failure. It felt as if he were slowly becoming more and more self-absorbed. Just then, the one who had brought me to this realm, a massive owl, appeared beside me. Upon seeing it, my anger flared uncontrollably. I lunged at it, intending to strip its feathers bare, but it flapped its wings and pointed in all directions. It was simply unbelievable. Could a master cultivator truly manifest out of nowhere to stab me? Instantly, I froze, the phrase master cultivator echoing in my mind. Indeed, this is a world of cultivation. All I need to do is step outside and find a few disgruntled souls, and they could draw their swords to strike me down in an instant. Oh, I must return to the world of cultivation quickly. I am ready. Meanwhile, in my small courtyard, Lucy is staring intently at the mountain of dishes piled high. "You're truly amazing at cheating. You've devoured all the food the master made," Lucy exclaimed in astonishment. "I've never seen anyone manage to eat 3 bowls of rice without collapsing." The proud donkey, Li Dongqi, casually picked its teeth with a toothpick and replied, "It's not just a little bit I've eaten. If there was something that could turn you all into water, I could drink that dry too. But what's up with this food? It neither gets you tipsy nor tastes good. If it weren't for the master's orders against waste, I would have flipped the table by now." Li Dian rubbed his hands together, chuckling, while inwardly cursing the donkey. "If I hadn't seen you as the spirit of Mitian, I wouldn't be serving you at all." After saying that, he brought out 2 other dishes. Du felt no regret, while Lucy had lost all hope. She quickly approached the donkey, pleading, "Sister, could you tell me what song you sang the day we first met? It was amazing." With a haughty expression, the donkey took out a fan and a handkerchief. "All right, kid, since you asked last time, I'll sing you another snippet." With that, it began to sing, causing Lucy's eyes to widen. A symbol of 3 leaves appeared, and golden sparkles converged on her forehead. She had truly made a breakthrough. When the song ended, the proud donkey asked, "So, how was that?" "Was it good?" Lucy clapped in applause. "That was incredible. You're such a talented donkey. The master must be even more skilled, right? Who exactly is he? I can't disclose the master's background, but he has mentioned the activities of that teacher before." The donkey cleared its throat and said, "Whenever my master gets drunk, he often hugs me and talks about wanting to fly back to Earth. Even when sitting at home without going out, he can use a magical artifact to know what's happening on the distant horizon. To travel 1,000 miles, a mere yawn can take you there. With just a flick of your finger, you can flatten a 100-mile stretch." The 3 of them trembled in fear at these words. Just how powerful is this master, after all? At that moment, the donkey suddenly panicked and transformed into a round shape. Because I had returned, Lucy joyfully waved at me. I rushed over to Crazy Lee and clasped my hands, saying, "Mr. Lee, I have something to ask of you. I want to venture out and meet some masters. Can you take me with you?" This statement startled Crazy Lee. Does this person intend to wreak havoc outside? Before Crazy Lee could respond, Lucy pounded her chest and assured, "I'll take care of him." Glancing back at Crazy Lee sitting in the corner, drawing circles, I thought, this guy is about to go out and cause trouble. I can't just stand here and watch. I must do something for the people. With that thought, Dewey and I boldly stepped forward. Seeing the unusual state of his master, Crazy Lee felt a twinge of worry. "Didn't you teach us that the most important thing is to be cheerful? Why do you seem so unhappy now?" Just then, Master Yi had a pressing issue that required his assistance. After speaking, he brought the madman Li before me. I am but an ordinary person, wishing to step outside and admire the scenery along the path of cultivation. However, I know little about the world beyond. Might you enlighten me about the powerful sects out there? The madman Li pondered inwardly. After finishing his words, Li Fengzi approached me. I am merely an ordinary person with an ardent desire to step outside and behold the beautiful sights along the path of cultivation. Yet, my understanding of the world beyond is incredibly limited. I wish to seek the wisdom of a senior. Do you know which powerful doors are opening out there? Li Fengzi pondered within himself. Could it be time to investigate the great sects in preparation for action? However, I could create a massive flood, forcing him to confront those adversaries, while I merely sit back and reap the benefits. Yet before undertaking such a plan, I must complete an extremely important task. Instantly, I wrapped my arms around his waist, letting out a gasp before kneeling on the ground. I apologize, Sir Nian. I was cooking earlier and accidentally strained my back. May I rest for a day and set off tomorrow? Internally, I cursed, thinking, this old man is truly skilled at feigning. Even his act should have a touch more finesse. Though I thought this, I still bent down to help him up, inadvertently touching his pulse. If he's intentionally feigning illness, there must be a reason behind it. Well, I suppose I'll just close my eyes and let it go. As night fell, I sat on the rooftop, gazing at the moon, my heart filled with profound reflections. Having lived in this small facility for a full century, I had grown weary of this place. Yet unexpectedly, as I was about to leave, a sense of nostalgia washed over me. Just then, I caught a suspicious sound. Li Dian was sneaking out in the dead of night. Where could he possibly be headed? Recalling the fierce battle from earlier, he was injured quite severely. I resolved to secretly follow him, just in case things took a turn for the worse. On the outskirts of the Hongwu Forbidden Zone, Li Dian let out a sigh of relief. Despite the looming dangers, it seemed that fortune was still on his side. His hidden wound suddenly found itself healing. It was time to reclaim what was lost. He sat down, beginning to channel his vital energy to summon that object, something only the bloodline of royalty could awaken. First, he needed to restore his form. As I watched, his frail figure transformed into shimmering points of light, and slowly, an image began to take shape in the air. To return to Earth, this man had to endure countless perils. His only option was to seek out a few hot-headed individuals who would draw their blades at the slightest provocation. But being completely unfamiliar with the world of cultivation, he had no choice but to rely on Li Dian. However, Li Dian was stealthily venturing out into the night, bearing a wound on his face. I had to silently follow Li Dian to the edge of the Hongwu area, taking a deep breath. I watched as his aging form transformed into sparkling points of light, and suddenly an image began to manifest in the air. Those glimmers from the remains morphed into the figure of a silver-haired girl. It turns out that she is Li Fengzi, the last emperor of the celestial immortal dynasty, who lived 200 years ago. When she uncovered the seal of the Hongwujing emperor, she was besieged by traitors. Although she ultimately managed to escape, she was severely injured, leaving behind the legacy of a 1,000-year-old dynasty. She had no choice but to use the secret technique, Manhwa, to temporarily ease her injuries while concealing her identity to preserve her life. However, this technique transformed her into the appearance of an old man, altering even her personality. Memories of the past flooded back to her. Truly, had she not been of royal blood, how could their majesty be so imposing? Yet, she was grateful that Mantian poured wine for her every day. Without it, she might not have been able to restore her true self. The crux of the matter was that she needed to act quickly, so she began to chant incantations. She sensed that her treasured artifact from her past life was nearby. As the incantations flowed from her lips, a small mound appeared not far away. A brilliant golden light radiated from it, but the glowing object suddenly soared into the sky. Li Fengzi watched in delight as it materialized before her. Even after hundreds of years, she had finally found the heirloom of the celestial immortal dynasty, the indomitable legacy. Instantly, she soared up to seize it, but just then, a dark shadow struck her down. The precious artifact she had just grasped fell away. It turned out to be the beast, Shi Lang, and in my confusion, I almost lost my way on this unfamiliar path. Following the faint traces left by Li Dian, I was fortunate enough to arrive here. As soon as I reached the location, the sounds of a fierce battle echoed ahead. Filled with concern for Li Dian's safety, I hurried forward, only to find not him, but a woman standing her ground. She was locked in a struggle with a massive gray wolf. In a flash, Li Dian charged in, delivering a powerful slap to the beast, igniting its fury as it bared its teeth, ready to retaliate. Yet, he nimbly dodged, hanging suspended in midair, both hands gathering energy. A brilliant light flashed as he struck the wolf squarely on its forehead. The gray wolf let out a pitiful whimper before collapsing into silence. Li Fengzi joyfully descended to the ground, but in that very moment, her face paled and she spat out a mouthful of blood. I remained hidden, astonished. The girl who had just shown such strength by slapping the gray wolf now looked so vulnerable. Why is she coughing up blood now? Just then, the gray wolf, seemingly lifeless, suddenly opened its blood-red eyes, fixating on Li Fengzi as if it wanted to devour her whole. I couldn't just stand by and watch her. I quickly picked up a small stone and hurled it towards the menacing wolf. What kind of skill is it to bully a weak maiden when you're just a little mutt? Liu, I'm calling your father here. To my surprise, the gray wolf completely ignored me, leaving me stunned. Could it be that my trick wasn't clever enough? Taking a deep breath, I gathered my energy to prepare, and much to my shock, it actually worked as the wolf turned and chased after me. At that moment, the beauty of the scene, filled with an enchanting aura, left me spellbound. Then she fainted. Meanwhile, I dashed away, elated that the gray wolf was now pursuing me, believing that the young heroine had managed to escape. Waiting for the female hero to escape, I'll play the rabbit. It's not too hard to die like this, right? But why can't this fierce wolf keep up with me? Is the system failing me? The one who wronged me, the system is watching like a hawk. In the blink of an eye, it suddenly morphed into a human form. It's tough for the master to keep this little pup from lagging on purpose. Yet, I can't just sit still any longer. Stop, turn around and face me. Hey, little dog, if you're so tough, come and bite me. The gray wolf bared its bloodied fangs, charging straight at me. I spread my arms, wearing a hopeful expression. Earth, my home, my air conditioning, and my phone. I'm finally on my way back. Unable to contain myself, I yelled, only to find that my scream sent the gray wolf into a panic. It showed no signs of attacking. After waiting in vain for it to die, I opened one eye to take a look and exclaimed, "Where did my gray wolf go? Why did it vanish? Did it go back for that woman? Truly, what a heartless creature. With no other choice, I had to return. But to my surprise, that woman had fainted. I had to admit, upon closer inspection, she was quite beautiful. So I started to undress her while muttering, "Let's take care of the main business first." Moments later, as I stripped her of her clothes, Li Fengzi gradually awoke, and upon realizing her nakedness, she looked utterly stunned. "Oh, female hero, you're awake. Let's continue, shall we?" With that, I picked up the needle and started to prick. In my heart, I couldn't shake the curiosity about why her wounds resembled those of Li Fengzi so closely. Could it be a common affliction among those who practice cultivation? Meanwhile, Li Fengzi himself was unsettled, gazing at the bandages that enveloped his body, all made from his own cloak. Was it possible that I had wronged him unjustly? Uncertain whether he had seen things he shouldn't have, Li Fengzi stood up, thanking me with a hint of bashfulness as he scratched his head. "Thank you, brave heroine. During this time, it's best if you take it easy. Otherwise, you'll be prone to further injuries." Noticing that the time was nearly up, I helped him remove the needle. "We've only just met. Why would you save me?" "Saving someone doesn't require a reason," I replied, catching him off guard. His face flushed crimson as he stared at me, astonished that amidst the chaos sweeping across the continent, there was someone who would so willingly come to another's aid. Under his intense gaze, I felt a wave of shyness wash over me, causing me to step back repeatedly. Suddenly, I stumbled upon something that had jabbed my foot. Bending down to pick it up, I discovered it was a piece of jewelry that surely belonged to her. I immediately placed it in her hand. "Take good care of this. Don't lose it again." To my surprise, she suddenly leaped up and looked down at me. "Today I will remember this moment in my heart. I, the little maiden, may not know how to repay you, but one day I shall return to settle the score." With that, she soared away like a gust of wind. It feels like I just received good news. "I will take your life," that phrase echoed in my mind. I watched her silhouette fade away, tears streaming down my face in this moment of parting. Just like that, you come back to kill me. Last night, she was a beautiful girl, but by day, she transformed into a frail old man, barely 5 feet tall. Li Fengzi had just returned and was nearly knocked out by my master's voice. He resembled a child caught in a misdeed. "Are you regretting anything?" he asked. Neither Yu Hoi nor Luzi looked pleased. I heard that my master disregarded his own injuries and went out all night last night. Given the circumstances, it certainly didn't seem like I had been betrayed. I hastily explained, "I believe that old Li must have had something important to attend to, which is why he slipped out. Besides, didn't he come back safe and sound? You don't need to be so angry. Li Fengzi is just a human after all," he said, scratching his head. "It's been so dull in the courtyard these days that I just wanted to go outside for some fresh air and a little exercise." Hearing this, my concern grew. His wounds were still not fully healed. I couldn't afford to be careless. With that thought, I placed my hand on Li Fengzi's shoulder, my heart racing and blood rushing. Not long ago, he had to exert himself. It seemed he had been in a fight with someone, yet there was no one around. Could it be that the one who fought him last night was that girl? Realizing this, I said nothing more and simply waved my hand. Let's quickly pack our things and set off. After all, finding someone to kill me is the main mission. Meanwhile, Li Fengzi slumped down on the chair, muttering to himself. "No regrets. This kid is indeed a damn sharp blade. Just because he went out for one night without telling me, I had to endure an hour of his lecturing kick." With that, he rummaged through his bag. Pulling out a bit of the moonlight insect essence that I managed to recover last night, I was fortunate that after being nurtured with royal bloodline, it could be utilized. He immediately pressed the moonlight insect essence to his forehead, channeling his energy. After a flash of golden light, the essence gradually disappeared from his forehead. With everything in place, Li Fengzi opened his mind's desire, covertly observing the busy people around him. Over the past few days, he had leveled up twice in succession, yet his rank remained unstable. Currently, he was at the mid-stage of the three-leaf realm, steadily advancing step by step without worrying about his level. Upon seeing me, he noticed I radiated a dazzling light, making it impossible to discern my true power. When he tried to look closer, the golden light blinded him, causing him to cry out before kneeling on the ground. As everyone helped him up, he felt tears streaming down his cheeks uncontrollably. It's fine, just a bit of dust in my eyes," he reassured himself. At this moment, I had finished tidying up and called out to them we could depart at any time. Li Fengzi still felt unwilling, unable to clearly see my true strength. Let's see what he means to protect the mortal realm. The Tomguin unfolds ordinary items that exude immense power. Could it be that the pressure from the institution was so light before that everything seemed mundane? Now that he has left the institution, their true forms are beginning to reveal themselves. This is unbearable. I must gather them quickly. With that thought, he rummaged through his bag and hurried towards me. "Lord Nip, carrying so much luggage must be quite inconvenient for you. I have a collection ring to offer you." Meanwhile, I couldn't shake off my confusion. "I am just an ordinary person. Perhaps I cannot use it." Lianian, however, said no more and slipped the ring onto my nameless finger. "A man can also use it. Simply gaze at the item you wish to collect and silently chant, 'Collect.' Good heavens, is it really that miraculous? At last, I can set off with ease." Having resolved the baggage issue, my spirits were lifted. I leaped onto the back of a small horse and took off. But just as I traveled a short distance through the garden, the ground trembled violently. It felt as though something was about to burst forth from the earth, followed by swirling streams of purple energy. A figure slowly emerged, howling in madness. "I have finally escaped my confinement. From this day forth, I shall shatter the skies and rise above mere toil." Before the words could fully escape his lips, a bolt of lightning descended from above, engulfing that figure, who could only let out a wretched scream. Then, slowly fading away, at that moment in the sky, the incarnation of the celestial Tao appeared with a disdainful expression. "What audacity to cause trouble beneath my rank, scum that dares to classify itself." Before he could finish his words, a thunderous crack echoed as he was struck on the head. It was none other than the one who had thrown me into this world. the system. Owl, what are you up to? Have you forgotten the tasks I entrusted to you? Oh, my dear sister, I will definitely fulfill all your assignments. As long as I am here, that brat won't escape. The fragile soul of that kid will surely not evade. It's best, as you said, or else I'll skin him alive. Speaking of you, my dear sister, who is that rider on the donkey, a figure as great as you having to serve him? Upon hearing this, the owl exuded a murderous aura. How dare you question the origins of our master? A mere mortal hearing the incarnation of the celestial Tao would almost wet himself in fear. I'm sorry. I may have offended this esteemed being earlier, which is why I wish to know about his background, to understand just how insignificant I truly am. Knowing your insignificance means you still have a chance to redeem yourself. As long as you keep watch over this place and ensure that the brat doesn't escape, the master will not hold it against you. After saying this, the owl let out a puff sound, transforming back into its true form and flapping its wings, soaring into the distance. If any issues arise beneath your gaze, I will strip your skin away. Only the heavenly path remains, embodying solitude and sorrow. I will not let you down. While the heavenly path can still suppress that thing, I shall accompany my master outside for some real enjoyment. Days flew by swiftly. I leisurely rode on a small donkey, while Lin and the other three trailed behind at a slow pace. Yang Konghoi and Luxi curiously asked Master Nak why, with such talent, he still chose to tread the earth. Not soaring through the skies with us truly feels like a waste of time. Lin feigned seriousness. You are all still too young. Do you know why this land is called the Xuan Diep continent? This land's cultivation is measured through leaves, yet you do not realize that, on the branches, there are many realms like fruits. The elders have named this land Dip for two reasons. First, our cultivation is recorded through leaves. Second, to teach us a lesson. Only in places with true leaves can one comprehend the vastness of spiritual energy. It is only when you see the light beneath your feet that you understand how high the moon truly is. The lecture from Lin was mind-boggling, leaving Luke Zi in a daze. Kong Hoi seemed to grasp a bit of understanding. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Master Nak appeared to be walking, yet each step he took was forging his own path. At this point, I still had no clue and called out to Lindian. Lindian, have you met Mr. Nyak who flew here? This is my first time out, and I'm a bit excited. I wonder what our first stop will be. Are there any masters there? Are they strong? Our first stop is Sanju City. It is renowned for its many masters, and the city lord has reached the pinnacle of the Night Seven. I find myself lost in my own thoughts. If there are truly masters here, then surely they could easily eliminate me. So let us head to Sanju City. A few days later, we arrived at the gates, gazing at the entrance and the ominous signs of impending danger. I can't shake the doubt. Are there really masters here? Upon entering the city, we were met with a significant obstacle. Looking at the gates and those foreboding signs, I wondered if there were truly any masters. With a heavy sigh, I felt utterly helpless. Is this truly the town of the cultivation world? It must be a joke. They say there's divine energy here, but how can it appear like this? No, Hoi and Look too looked around, equally confused. This place is vastly different from what our teacher described. Lindian coughed twice. I haven't been back here in 200 years. It's inevitable that some discrepancies will arise. At this moment, I turned to Lindian and asked, is there anything special about Sanju City? Though I don't want to doubt your words, can such a dilapidated place truly harbor any masters? If there is only a weakling facing me, what could they possibly do? Lin smiled awkwardly. Oh, Sir Jue Sanchu City may not be as glamorous as you think, but the city lord, Jia Ren Yi, is truly a master at the pinnacle of the Seven Knights. Moreover, Sanchu City lies on the outskirts of the empire. Later, we will continue our journey toward the heart of the empire. I immediately grasped what Lin had said. Just in these outskirts, with masters like this, we are sure to encounter even stronger foes. Lin Feng noticed that I didn't catch his lies and felt a wave of anxiety wash over him as he wiped the cold sweat from his brow. Fortunately, he didn't suspect my words, otherwise, he might have turned around and left. How could he possibly lead me to meet his enemies? After hundreds of years apart, Sanchu City remained as desolate and dilapidated as ever. Yet, it was at night that Sanchu City revealed its true nature. What I needed to do now was to orchestrate a confrontation between Niao Xiaotian and Jia Renyi, pushing them to clash with one another completely. At that moment, Lucy's stomach grumbled after a long day of hunger. Lin Feng immediately suggested, "Let's find a place to rest and have a meal. And while we're at it, let's inquire about the current situation in Sanchu City." With that, he enthusiastically grabbed my hand. "I remember there's an old restaurant nearby that's been around for 100 years. Let's experience the flavors and warmth of Sanchu City together, Mr. Niao." Both of them stood bewildered by the sudden enthusiasm of their master. Why was Master Cao so fervent all of a sudden? Was there something he was hiding from them? The scene shifted to a little donkey tied outside the inn, its helpless gaze fixed on the ground as it nibbled on some grass. Deep down, it thought to itself, if it weren't for Sister Owl telling me to keep this secret from my master, I would truly want to turn back into a human and share a meal with him. Inside the inn, the atmosphere was light as young. Honghoi wiped his mouth, while Lucy cradled her belly, a satisfied expression gracing her face after the delicious feast. Full and content, while it couldn't compare to the culinary skills of Nyoka, the flavors were still delightful. At that moment, the innkeeper rubbed his hands together with a forced smile, inquiring, "How was the meal, everyone? I wonder who will be settling the bill today." Lin Feng remained true to his nature. "Oh, I've been living in the deep mountains for so long. I'm truly broke." I inwardly cursed. This old man wants me to foot the bill, but I don't have any money in this world either. Am I supposed to sacrifice myself to pay for this? Just then, Yeo Kong Hoi thumped his chest and declared, "Let me cover this meal. After all, Mr. Niu has taken great care of me, so this is just a small token of gratitude." Lin Feng was about to say something when Lucy interrupted him. "Though Master is often stingy, he has never skimped on our allowances. One meal is certainly within our means." The innkeeper announced, "That will be a total of 1,000 coins." We were all taken aback by the price. Yeo Kong Hoi exploded in anger. "Isn't this highway robbery? How can one meal be so expensive?" Lucy added fiercely, her expression fierce as well. "Although my master is stingy, he occasionally treats us to a meal. Dishes like this only cost about 3 coins. Upon hearing this, the owner was taken aback. "Are you planning to dine and dash?" Immediately, he clapped his hands, and a group of 7 or 8 burly men stormed into the shop. The leader bellowed, "Is there anyone here causing trouble?" The owner immediately nodded respectfully. "Captain, there's someone trying to dine and dash. You have to help me out. You're bold to slander us like that?" Seeing this, Lin Feng continuously cautioned his 2 disciples from behind, "Say less." But Yeo Kong Hoi and Lucy were deaf to his words. Lin Feng could only fall silent, quietly preparing to withdraw. After all, this patrol unit was under the authority of the city lord. You can't easily provoke them. We need to shift this conflict onto Niu Tiuthian. I realized I had fallen into the trap set by a few beggars, which was somehow tied to the patrol. This is what they call the alliance between officials and merchants. But now, if I show any defiance and argue with them for even a moment, it will surely provoke their wrath. If luck is on my side, they might just beat me up, but if not, I could end up severely injured or worse. With this thought, I pointed at them with a voice full of indignation. "You are running an illegal eatery, a den of collaboration between officials and merchants. You think I'll be a fool?" The owner and the patrol captain looked at my attitude and merely scoffed in disdain. This brat clearly has no sense of life or death. They immediately approached, a man gripping my collar tightly. "Dare to disrupt the peace of Sanju City. Come with me to my place. Whatever I want to do to you is as easy as flipping a coin. When the time comes, you'll have no choice but to obediently hand over your money." Just then, the small pouch on my chest suddenly fell to the ground, and the moment it hit, it emitted a blinding light, dazzling them instantly. Trapped in darkness for 100 years, I had just stepped into the training district when I encountered a hidden eatery linked to the authorities. As the leader was about to strike me, the gem in my hand fell to the ground and unexpectedly exploded with a brilliant light, nearly blinding them. Oh wow, this small gem holds immense power. Could it be a treasure from some great figure? I found myself dazed as I picked up a shard of crystal. My goodness, when I created it, the sun beads of cold sweat down the captain's back. Could this treasure have been forged by him? His legs turned to jelly as he knelt down. How could he dare to demand money from someone so terrifying? One misstep, and he might find himself in a dire predicament. His act of kneeling snapped me back to reality. I raised my hand saying, "If there's no money, take my life instead. Whatever you want to do, just do it. I don't believe you dare kill me." The captain immediately panicked, shouting, "Stay back." Both of us stood frozen in place. This script doesn't add up. Aren't I supposed to be pinned down? Why does it feel so hesitant? The captain, too, was silently anxious. Earlier, the boss had told me to step back. Could it be that he wanted to seize this opportunity to enter the prison, seizing the moment to capture me? A character like this should never be offended. I need to find a way to escape here immediately. He pointed at the glass marbles on the ground and cautiously asked me, "Did you make these yourself?" I nodded. In my free time, I crafted a few to play with. Could these possibly be exchanged for food, eh? No sooner had I spoken, he swiftly snatched 2 of my marbles away. Indeed, these 2 marbles were enough to settle the meal and the fine from the patrol. The patrol was already outside the inn. There was no need to accompany us any further. Just a word, and they dashed off. We stood there, bewildered. Were they really going to lock me in the dungeon? They promised to kill me. Now I could only rely on the innkeeper. I turned to look at the patrol captain, who had already left. Would he not hold me accountable for this? To my surprise, he knelt down and begged, "Boss, I was wrong. Please spare me." The innkeeper was in agony. If this esteemed individual was displeased, he wouldn't be able to keep his inn. "If free food isn't enough, I'll cover your meals and accommodation. All right?" This scene left the 3 members of the Leon group utterly stunned. Although I don't know what exactly happened, it seems that Lean's issue has been resolved. Deep down, Lean is a bit bewildered. Who would have thought that these tiny marbles contained such immense power? Just 31 of them could level an entire street. Feeling disheartened, I returned to my room and opened the window, gazing off into the distance. Who truly understands the pain in my heart? Suddenly, I was drawn to the lively scene unfolding outside. At that moment, Nock came rushing in without a second thought. "Master Nyak said there will be a lantern festival tonight. Do you want to join us in the crowd?" I nodded in agreement. In bustling places, conflicts are bound to arise, and finding a fool to vent our frustrations on isn't hard at all. After that, we all headed toward the lantern festival, leaving the little donkey alone to weep in solitude. At that moment, an owl perched atop the little donkey. "Sister, take me to the lantern festival, Chumo. Indeed, the nighttime in Songkyu City is where the true magic lies. Here, you can find performances, fire breathers, twirlers. Truly, every act is a wild spectacle. However, there are also many intriguing elements, much like a cultivation journey." Lucy discovered that the mad Lean, who once accompanied us, had vanished without a trace. Suddenly, Lean's furious roar echoed, "What are you all doing?" Knack and Lucy exchanged glances. Knack chuckled. "Oh, Master is just in a playful mood." But once provoked, he wouldn't hold back. With that look, it's clear Master has gotten himself involved in gambling again, and he stormed into the casino, seething with anger. Upon seeing us, his confidence surged. "You arrived just in time. This casino is rigged, and I hope you can help me take control." The casino owner, sporting a mocking mustache, spoke with a tone laced with sarcasm. "Old man, one must have evidence when making accusations. If you continue to slander us, well, alert troll team, and you'll find no way to escape." Lean, his eyes blazing with fury, rolled up his sleeves, ready to charge into a brawl. I patted his shoulder from behind. All right, Mr. Lean, let's stay calm. "Let me give it a try," I said, while the casino owner shot a sidelong glance, chuckling derisively. "Don't tell me you think I would underestimate you to bet at this table. You must have something of value." "What do you have?" I immediately pulled out the glass bead, recalling that the shopkeeper mentioned it was quite valuable. "I wonder if it can be used." The crowd gasped in astonishment, and someone exclaimed, "This is a precious artifact. I can sense incredible power within it." I nodded, declaring, "I will bet with you if I lose. I will return everything to the old man. If I win, this bead will belong to me." I nodded firmly, resolute in my decision. At that moment, atop the highest point of the Sanchu city, a figure stood beside a ferocious beast, gazing down at the bustling crowd below. A subordinate stood behind the tortoise hero, holding a glass bead. "Sir, this is the item we retrieved from the patrol team. Please take a look, City Lord." The City Lord accepted the glass bead, quite pleased, yet unaware of the trials that awaited him ahead. Who is the mastermind behind this artifact? Meanwhile, Xiao Mao, transformed into a human, spoke anxiously to the owl. "Sister, are you not worried about taking me out? My master has locked me in the inn, forbidding me to run wild. As long as he doesn't find out, we're safe. Once you place a bet, there's no turning back." At this moment, I had won 15 consecutive rounds, surrounded by heaps of snacks, while the casino owner was drenched in sweat. In just a few rounds, I had claimed half of the casino's earnings for the entire year. If the owner finds out, I'll surely face severe punishment. I can't let that brat leave this place. Do you dare to place your bets in front of me? Are you tired of living? The righteous flames within. Jiang Konghui and Lu Zi ignited once more. Where did you see that my performance was rigged? So, the casino owner dares to play tricks, huh? First, let's see if my sword agrees with that. The casino boss, full of self-satisfaction, boasted without fearing his protector. "Our master is the young lord of Sanchu City. Hand over all the snacks, or else you won't find it pleasant." I was also taken aback indeed. Everything happens for a reason. It sounds like this young lord isn't a good person. If he gets angry, I'll surely be doomed. Just then, a voice pulled me back to reality. I heard someone is causing trouble here. Let's see who dares to stir chaos on my turf. I turned around and found him, nearly frozen in shock. Oh no, it's him again. The casino owner recognized his acquaintance. "I have grown stronger, Captain. You arrived just in time. These people are wreaking havoc. Please deal with them immediately and compensate me." Before the captain could respond, I had already greeted him as we had just met earlier in the day. We are old friends. This time, I have committed an offense that I cannot let them overlook. No sooner had I finished speaking than they shoved me out of the gambling den, proclaiming to the owner of Sanju City that this is a law-abiding society. "Do you have evidence to prove he cheated, Nader?" Outside, a crowd had gathered, eagerly watching the spectacle. Xiao Mao, the trickster, and the owl had transformed into humans, standing there with excitement. If we get a little closer, we might just taste the fruits of our labor. I chased after them out. Based on the principles I uphold, I take full responsibility for my actions. I kindly ask you to handle this here and now. If that's not convenient, you can take it back with you. Just then, a piercing scream interrupted my passionate speech. It turned out to be Lu Zi being teased by an idiot. Everyone was astonished. Wasn't that the young Lord Ward? This was indeed the young Lord, Jiafuchi, of Sanju City. When did such a beautiful girl appear in town? I want her to be my little wife. Little did I know, the young lord was a fool, yet this fool owned a gambling den. Moreover, he was a lecherous one, immediately groping the long legs clad in black and white stockings. If no one provides me with an explanation, this matter will not end here. At that moment, I was overjoyed to unexpectedly encounter the young lord right here. Wealthy young masters like him, even if they don't kill me, their fathers will undoubtedly have me dead. While waiting for the young master to speak, the casino owner turned back, a broad smile spreading across his face as he addressed the young master. The real troublemakers here are these people causing a ruckus in the casino. With that, he turned back, flattering the young master with a sycophantic grin. I can't kill him, I'll just let my father take care of that. This scene left me feeling utterly powerless. What on earth is wrong with this young master? All he seems to think about is killing people. But it works in my favor. If I just poke a little fun at him, he'll surely get furious and eliminate me. I cleared my throat twice, calling out, "Young master, I see you possess an extraordinary demeanor and remarkable talent." As I said this, I stepped closer to the young master, taking hold of his round face. If I'm not mistaken, you must be quite the fool. The sight left everyone speechless. Oh my. Truly daring to speak the truth. Who would have thought he would publicly humiliate the young master? Is he looking to throw away his life? At that moment, I realized the seriousness of the situation and turned to look at Li Dian and the others, signaling them to leave immediately. Just then, the casino owner, Tio, suddenly clapped his hands. You actually recognized me as someone with limited intellect. You're truly as clever as my father. You're the third person to uncover this secret besides him. I've decided you're a talent from now on. Be my little brother. What we leave behind will be yours. With that, he stepped closer to Not Tom and Luke Tom. You two shall become my little mistresses and enjoy this leisurely life with me. As soon as he finished speaking, he knelt down, his hands reaching out to caress their long, slender legs. This incited the fury of both women, who screamed, "You shameless pervert! How dare you think we would tolerate such behavior?" With that, a long sword flashed out, slicing him down to the ground. To think that someone of such low character would waste his youth on lewd thoughts instead of studying properly, this was unacceptable. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed, signaling an approaching presence. "You dare lay a hand on my precious son." A man riding a fierce beast charged in like a tempest. "If you harm my child, I will flay you alive and display your corpses at the city gates." As I recognized the newcomer, I couldn't help but think that this must be the Lord of the 39 cities. Lean Dion exclaimed that he was a master of the Night Seven. It seemed my long-desired death had finally arrived. Turning to Lean Dion, I signaled with a glance, "Pretend you don't know me and make a quick escape." "Don't worry, I've taken care of everything," I added, lifting the unconscious Lord Shao. "Run like a chicken with its feathers ruffled. If you want to avoid harming your young master, quickly step aside. First, we must take this fool away to prevent dragging innocent people into this mess. If we want to retreat swiftly, let the little donkey unleash its power." A sharp whistle pierced the air, summoning the little donkey forth. The two figures, hidden in the shadows, were startled as the owl reacted swiftly, delivering a kick that sent the little donkey tumbling out. The master shouted for help, and in the chaos of fleeing, I caught sight of the little donkey arriving, joyfully braying, "Sister Donkey, I knew you wouldn't stay put in the inn." From afar, I could smell the grass you were munching on. Without hesitation, I leaped onto the little donkey's back, turning around to bellow, "Hey, you foolish father, if you want your precious son back, come and catch me." Seeing me being chased, Rollo and Lucy couldn't hold back, drawing their swords and rushing to my aid. But they were intercepted by Link, who said, "Lord Ni is forcing them to retreat for our safety. Don't waste his efforts." With that, he sprang into action, delivering a powerful kick straight to the face of the captain. The trio quickly blended into the fray with the patrol team. The sight was disheartening. The magical beast at the feet of the city lord looked as exhausted as a panting dog. I mocked from atop my donkey. "The city lord's steed looks mighty and majestic, but it lacks both speed and endurance, doesn't it? My little donkey is far superior. Let's slow down a bit so they don't get left behind too easily." Behind us, the city lord and the magical beast were fuming. How could a man be deemed useless? Let the city lord chase us. So here I was, sprinting ahead while they trailed behind. Before long, I became familiar with this city. This city hoards an abundance of explosive materials. I am also working for the people, discreetly taking a portion of gunpowder for myself. I will add some ingredients to make the situation even more severe. The sight of this leaves the owl observing from above, utterly astonished. The master is yet to control the overwhelming power within him. In the process of crafting, he inadvertently infused strength into the mixture. A touch of this spice will ensure that the explosion leaves nothing behind. Once completed, I will cast it out, gazing toward the city. The city lord sees what he has been waiting for, a look of terror crossing his face. In an instant, a mushroom cloud erupts. Witnessing this spectacle fills me with satisfaction. The materials in the world of cultivation are truly remarkable. Even ordinary explosives can be transformed into a miniature nuclear bomb. Indeed, this explosion is breathtaking. Just stepping into the town of the cultivation world, I was mercilessly hunted down. With no choice left, I had to create a nuclear bomb to counterattack. As I watch the mushroom cloud rise, a deep sense of satisfaction washes over me. The resources in the cultivation world are genuinely powerful. The formula for a small bomb can also yield a nuclear device. As the smoke clears away, all my pursuers lie flattened on the ground, leaving only a battered city lord, still recovering from the blast. "What kind of treasure is this?" that can instantly shred a solid metal piano. If it weren't for my quick reflexes, I would have met my end long ago. The truth is, that small gem right there, at the final moment, it managed to absorb most of the explosion's power. I don't know who crafted this gem, but it surely must be connected to someone with mysterious abilities. As for me, witnessing him stand firm amidst the explosion, I couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration. He truly is a master of his craft, someone who can surely grant me a satisfactory conclusion. With that thought, I slowly approached him, only to be taken aback by his fierce reaction as he bellowed, "Thief! Not only have you humiliated me endlessly, but you've also ravaged my Bachin city." Such actions are enough to enrage the heavens themselves. With a master bearing witness to Bachin, you are absolutely no match for him. Release Vonyi, and we shall erase our grievances. If not, your head will roll. With that, he brandished a crystal gem. Do you see this gem? It was created by a mysterious master. If you provoke that esteemed individual, there will be nothing left of you. I couldn't help but chuckle. Why does the city lord have a powerful master backing him? Why not try to strike me a few times and see what happens? As for this, I find that the gem glowing in his hand looks oddly familiar. Isn't this the gem that the dog captain took from me? Why is the city lord carrying it with him? The city lord, upon hearing this, was immediately taken aback. Wait, did you create this gem? Seeing his intense reaction, I cautiously suggested, if you kill me, I could offer you a few more gems as a gift. Upon hearing this, a look of bewilderment crossed the city lord's face. It was clear that he couldn't fathom such a notion. This gem, brimming with boundless magical power, was casually crafted by someone else. At that moment, he could no longer believe in the light beneath his feet. It felt as if all his strength had been drained, and he sank to his knees. Witnessing this scene, I couldn't help but say, "Rest assured, City Lord, I will absolutely not resist. Just press the button, and I will vanish instantly. Please grant me your mercy, esteemed City Lord." Who would have thought that the image of such a mighty City Lord could be brought to tears by my words? Oh, brother, I truly do not know the heights of Mount Tai. My eyes are blurry with life, and from now on, I promise to live well and be a loyal dog. Please, give me a path to survival. This unexpected scene caught me off guard. Just a moment ago, I was imposing and dignified, and now I find myself kneeling. Am I truly just an ordinary person? Does this kneeling even make sense? At this moment, Lean rushed in frantically, stopping behind me. "Surly, are you all right?" Lean pretended to be serious, clearing his throat twice. "Don't worry. They have escaped danger. I couldn't relax, so I came to assist. It seems that Sir Nian has managed to take control of the situation. This person shouldn't stay here long for the sake of the people." I suddenly felt a jolt in my heart. "Sir Li, please don't joke like that. I lack the strength to kill him." Just then, a chilling voice echoed, "If neither of you intends to take his life, then allow me." Following the sound, I turned to see dozens of individuals dressed in black, standing in formation around them, wide-brimmed hats obscuring their faces, and a badge hanging at their waists, inscribed with the words, "Primordial Being." The leader looked down from above, his voice cold and detached. "Jiarenyi has garnered the attention of the Empress of the Heavenly Dynasty. You, a mere commoner, have exploited the people, deceived your superiors, and allowed the former regent to overthrow the Heavenly Empress. When she sought your aid, you not only refused to help, but also revealed her whereabouts. This led to the Empress being besieged by the former regent, and to this day, there has been no news of her. You show no reverence for heaven or fear for the earth, deceiving those around you. For betrayal, you shall pay the price." No sooner had he finished speaking than the city lord was splattered with blood and collapsed completely. I watched this scene in shock. My God, what is happening here? I even hoped he would take the easy way out. The leader turned to me, clasping his hands in gratitude. "Thank you for your assistance. Whenever you need us, I will not refuse." I stood there, dazed. If the city lord has been killed by them, let's see if I can provoke these despicable people to deal with me as well. As I thought about this, I immediately made an international gesture of friendship. Damn, killing right in front of me is no different from a robber's act, yet you still want me to remember your good deeds. How disgusting. Come down here, and I will teach you a lesson you won't forget. Why do flowers bloom in such a way? A man in dark clothing swiftly draws his dagger, but is immediately halted by the leader. This individual possesses extraordinary strength. Do not act rashly in an instant. He vanishes like a gust of wind.